4% of teenagers are Bible-believing Christians. That's a heartbreaking statistic. But if you spend much time at all with a teenager, it's easy to see how the average young person is very confused about the most important subject in life. What is a Christian, and how does a person become one? Several years ago, God began to really work in my heart about this subject. We were having a lot of teenagers who were coming into our church and our youth ministry, and they really had no concept about what it took to become a Christian. Many of them believed that if they simply believed that there was a God, that they could go to heaven. Or if they would join a church or be baptized, or just by being a good person. The real scary thing was that many of the teenagers in our own church were confused about salvation. Some of them were trusting in a prayer that they had prayed at 3, 4, or 5 years old, and they really had no memory of it and didn't understand what they were doing at the time, but someone had told them, yeah, you prayed that prayer that one time, and they were counting on that for their salvation. So we began to ask ourselves, what can we do to help this problem? How can we get the true gospel message to teenagers? How can we get them in a setting where they feel comfortable to come to, but at the same time they're hearing the truth? And so we decided, hey, we've got a field behind our church. What if we had a big bonfire and we just used our youth group to invite some local teenagers to come to? And when they came, we not only had a bonfire and activities, but we preached the gospel to them. And so that's what we did. And that first year, I think we had between 60 and 70 young people come. And of that 60 or 70, we had 3 or 4 teenagers accept Christ as their Savior. And we were pumped about that. And so the next year we decided to do it again, and the year after that, and every single year we kept having more and more kids. And we were still doing it on very much a local level here in New Bern, North Carolina. And so it was after that last year we began to ask ourselves, you know, if this works here in New Bern, what if we open this up to other areas of eastern North Carolina? What if instead of having 60 or 70 kids, we had 6, 7, maybe even 800 kids? And so from that thought and those beginnings, that's really where the whole concept of the Ignite Youth Rally was born. So here's the purpose of Ignite. We're not just a youth rally that looks to get a big crowd of teenagers together and get them pumped up about living for Jesus. Although those kind of rallies have their place, that's not what we believe God has placed on our heart. The whole purpose of Ignite is to get as many teenagers together as possible and share a clear salvation message with them. That salvation only comes through a personal, faith-based relationship with Jesus Christ. When a young person places their faith in Jesus and chooses to seek themselves completely in Him, their life and their eternity in Jesus Christ and His finished work on the cross of Calvary alone. And so what we've done is we've decided every year to set up a huge rally out in this field and bring in a well-known Christian athletic speaker. And when they come in, they're able to connect with the kids, but they're also able to share their testimony of salvation and how they came to know Jesus Christ. We're extremely excited about the future of the Ignite Outreach Rally. And now that you know a little bit more of what it's all about, we'd love for you to come and join us for this year's event. Hopefully we'll see you then.